I was at home, frustrated, depression was creeping in. I was not feeling good about being a mother. One of my relatives, she said, look at her, what she's doing. What was the purpose of getting those degrees? People will try to pull you down. You have to understand that you can get perfect with time before making any video. I talk to myself. I reduce that anxiety. What is your real purpose? 10 years down the line, where do you want to see yourself? Within 35-40 days, we gained the first 10,000 followers. Every mom should own a diary. Write down your feelings, write down what to do. Awareness is the best kind of marketing.
A lot of my friends who want to start a business, they are nervous. How do you overcome that? If you have an idea, moms, and you want to know how to get out there, first of all, if there's a mom who has a business idea, how do you think it's best for her to handle the finance?
I would say,
hey parents, welcome to another episode of the Modern Indian Parent Podcast. I'm Sanchita Daswani, a pediatric nutritionist, and every week we bring you episodes to help you own your modern parenting choices. In this episode today, we are excited to welcome Jyoti Srivastava, who is the founder of the baby food company, Little Cherry Foods. This company has gone from a startup to 1 crore in just a span of 1 year. Jyoti is also known as Little Cherry Mom, and she is a mom of 2 kids. And in this episode, she will be chatting with us all about her journey from mom to mompreneur. We know there's so many moms out there who are stay-at-home mom and they do want to do something, whether it's for financial reasons or they want to have something for their own, but they just feel stuck. So in this episode, we are going to be joined by Jyoti, who will be chatting with us all about how she was able to take a business idea and grow it into a full-fledged business. We will be talking to her about the challenges, mom guilt, work-life balance, how she marketed, how she went from being an introvert to actually being able to express herself on social media. And this episode is going to be full of so many tips that after it, you are going to be so inspired to start a business of your own. So let's welcome Jyoti. Welcome, Jyoti, to the Modern Indian Parent Podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm all good. Thank you so much, Sanchita, for inviting me here. It's an honor to be a part of this podcast.
Yes, thank you for your time. I know you're super busy. I have been following you since I've had kids, and my kids love the products of Little Cherry Foods, from the ghee to the amla prash to your nuts and seeds. They go into like every meal for that extra nutrition boost. And the reason we have you here on this podcast today is because we want to talk all about your journey from a mom to a mompreneur and help inspire all the moms out there who really want to get back into the workforce and find their own identity again. So to get started, I just want to ask you a little bit about your journey and how did you get started and come up with the idea of Little Cherry Foods?
A little about me. Actually, I'm a chemical engineer and I was working in the field of rocketry and missile designing. And I was a typical, a nerd. I used to feel that if you're working, you have to be a techie. But since my work schedule was very, very tight, I got married and I was feeling that I am losing time. In years of marriage, I was not able to enjoy it with my husband. So I decided to quit and do it as a freelancer. So when I got pregnant, I had a very risky pregnancy. So I had to say bye-bye to that job. And then I was at home, frustrated. Apart from depression was creeping in, and I was not feeling good about being a mother, to be very frank. I know a lot of people may find it weird, but I couldn't instantly connect with my baby also. Breastfeeding was feeling very difficult for me. Initially, my son was not latching, and we had some latching issues, and then milk supply issues crept in. So what I did was, when I had to start solids for my son, I started doing workshops like of various teachers from UK, from India, whoever. Like I used to Google and download those courses and all. Then after doing like several courses, I realized that the best food you can give your kid is homemade and the food that grows in your own country, around your own area, that will nourish your baby in the best possible way. Then I got to know about the concept of sprouting grains and increasing the amylase content in them. So I made those formulations at home. I started feeding it to my son. Then my husband was like, "Do you think that you have created something magical, something really good for baby?" So my husband said that, "Do you know the calculation that how many kids are born every year in the country, and then how many are urban kids? And even if you tap like 2% market, do you understand the numbers? And these food items, chemical free, millet-based, amylase-rich, nutrient-dense, it is actually the need of the hour because every mother is so busy hustling that they don't have time to prepare all this at home. So COVID was there, I was able to do it. But imagine if I was like doing my 9 to 5, it was really not possible for me. So basically my husband gave this idea that we should start a business out of it. And I said, no, I cannot do this. because, because for me, I was feeling like installing a pulverizer and then, grinding stuff and then selling it in packets. I told him that I cannot do this. I am not going to get into food business. He said, okay, give it a try. Then we decided, okay, let's make a page to make the mothers aware about breastfeeding. I started this page, Little Cherry Food. The page was not working at all. I was like, see, I am not meant for social media. I will not do this. Please. I am an introvert. I want to live in my shell. I don't want to come out. Please don't force me to do this. So basically, the page was not working. So one day I was sitting and I had around 900 followers on my personal account, all my friends and relatives and all. I don't know. I was just sitting and I just named my page Little Cherry Mom and I made it a public profile. And like within 35, 40 days, we gained the first 10,000 followers. I don't know how it happened.
Wow. Wow, amazing.
Maybe destiny, I would call it luck. The page boomed. So my husband said, now you're okay. You feel that you can start this business. Still, I was not convinced about it. I started posting about child nutrition with various courses. And then finally in Feb 2022, we started Little Cherry Food after I got convinced. Even after starting, I was not very sure that I'll continue it. But after a week of launch, a mother messaged me that after having Happy Tummy Mix, my son got feels better. And I think after 3 weeks, sorry. Yeah, she messaged me and I was so happy to hear that chronic constipation was healed by Happy Tummy Mix. And that day I got goosebumps and I was like, okay, let's continue with this business and let's see what's there.
Wow. No, that's really, really so inspiring. And I think even for me as a child nutritionist, for so many of us moms, our business came out of the fact that it's through our own experience as a mom, right? Because you also made these products because you wanted to give it to your son. So a lot of times it stems off through our experience when we notice a problem or an issue and we finding a solution and then sharing it with others. So I wanted to start off with asking you for all the moms out there who are in the position that we were in the sense that we have a young kid and we want to do something, but we're not sure what. How would you suggest moms to go about thinking of a business idea?
See, first of all, be it a mom or anybody, you have to be sure that what you want to do. Like you have to be 100% sure that this is my passion. I want to do this and I want to, be the change maker in this particular domain. So you'll have to, first of all, dig out that what is your actual passion. Like some people may find a kick in selling jewelry. Some people may find a kick in fashion industry. So first of all, you will have to decide and you have to be sure that what you are interested in. What is your real purpose? Like, what is your end goal? Like 10 years down the line, where do you want to see yourself? Also, you'll have to look around and see what are the available resources. Because sometimes some people are good at cosmetic making, but the business requires a lot of capital. So don't get discouraged by that. Start small, start with one product, start with whatever you can do. Just start. That's it. You may fail, but you learn in the process.
Yeah, I think it's important what you said that first identify what you enjoy, what brings you that happiness. Yeah, so be realistic about your goal and where you really want to see yourself. So identify that. Number two, I would say identify what are your passions, what makes you happy, what makes you interested. I think a third thing would also be to identify what your strengths are, like what are you good at, what do you feel, and I want to ask you about that because you mentioned about social media and how you generally are an introvert. Because I know a lot of my friends who want to start a business, like they want to start a cooking channel or they want to be a yoga instructor. A lot of them now, because social media is so prominent, they are nervous because they don't want to put themselves out there. So, how did you kind of overcome that? Because you mentioned you were an introvert and a lot of your clients have come through Instagram.
See, a lot of people may think that they're good at, making videos and they're very extrovert and they're very expressive. Sometimes whatever we feel is our weakness is not actually our weakness. I'll tell you that thing. Because, even I was not sure that I'll be able to sit in front of the camera and speak. Practice makes everyone perfect. Just decide your goal and practice, 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 practice. Like I'll give you one example. We are building a holiday home, you can say, and my husband, he is so much into reading. He started studying about architecture, how to make those frames and what are the best building techniques used. He has no background of it, but he studied. He did all the research and he mastered it. We did a lot of courses. So I would say that whatever you want to do, you can strengthen that particular domain by doing courses, by practice, by doing research and talking to yourself. That's very, very important. Because before making any video or coming on the camera, I talk to myself. Like, imagine that there's an imaginary person, and then I talk to that person, and I kind of reduce that anxiety.
That's so true because one thing that will make you more confident is when you have that knowledge. So, for example, if you say, I want to be a yoga instructor, but I'm nervous to put myself out there, that's because you're just at the beginning stage. But once you get certified, once you talk to other yoga instructors, once you go for classes, once you do that research, then you will have that confidence to be a bit less nervous in front of the camera. And as you said, it's about practice because I'm sure if we look back at our Instagram from like when we started to now, there's a big difference. And we've grown a lot. But I think for me at that point, I was just like, I need to just start putting myself out there in whichever way I feel comfortable. In the beginning, I would just put images. I wouldn't put my face and now I'm just chatting away. And it's important what you said about how so many times, because as women, we are so hard on ourselves. So we feel like we are weak in a lot of ways, like we are not good enough or our video is not good enough. But if we know that we women are here to support each other and it's okay to put yourself out there, I think that's what we're scared of. We're scared of that criticism of people making fun of us. But we have to understand that we all feel like that.
Yeah, I agree. Because if I tell you about myself, when I started posting these videos, one of my classmates from college, he said, "Hi, Cherry Food. What are you doing?" I said, I'm making videos. You were so much into technology. He is a Carolite, and that's how he said. And now you're cooking food for babies. I said, I love it. I'll do whatever I want. You cannot bully me for doing what I am doing. And one of my relatives, she said, see, look at her, what she's doing. What's the purpose? What was the purpose of getting those degrees? Eventually, she's making these. So people will try to pull you down. People will try to highlight that you're weak, but you have to understand that you are not weak. You can, get perfect with time. You will learn things in the process. So do whatever you like to do. You learn everything.
Yeah, there is always, I've gotten a lot of criticism as well in terms of doing like child nutrition. But I feel like for me, what I just had to focus on the goal of, I think as women, we really want to help people. So for me, it was like whether I help one parent or 1,000 parents, my thing is if I'm able to make a difference in someone's life, whether it's through a product or service, that's what matters. And all that noise around shouldn't.
I think you should just put on your earphones, do whatever you want to do. Don't listen to what anybody is saying, because even if you fail, you will learn something and you will grow as a person.
Yeah, that's really important to understand that our failures will only make us better. And I want to ask you the next question is, why do you feel for so many moms it's so tough to get started? Why do you feel there's so much hesitation for them?
The biggest barrier is mom guilt. I feel that a lot of women think if I go to the office or if I dedicate time to work, my baby will feel left out. So this is the biggest barrier. I think when it started, I didn't have a lot of help around me at that time. And I wasn't earning a lot. But then also I hired a proper help for my, family, for myself because I wanted to invest my energy in growing. So that is one of the biggest barriers. And also a lot of Indian women I feel are hesitant to ask for help. They don't want to ask people that please help me, or they're very hesitant of hiring help. I mean, they're scared of things like people will label me if I hire a cook for my family. People will label me lazy if I hire a nanny for my kids. So just break that barrier. Nobody is going to, pay the bills. Nobody is going to uh, support you in any way. You have to decide what is suitable for you. No mom guilt. Hire help. Seek help. Ask your partner. Ask people around, and you will feel much better. And I feel that this is the biggest barrier. Like people are scared of getting labeled lazy. People are scared of getting, I don't have words to express that, but yeah, people are scared that,
Yeah, that they're not, they're going to be blamed for not taking on the
yeah,
responsibilities and
yeah,
outsourcing them.
exactly.
Yeah, so even for me in the beginning, I used to feel really bad because I used to go in my room and do my calls for like 2, 3 hours, and then my kids were outside just playing, and with the, so I'd be like, oh my God, I'm here, but shouldn't I be there? It actually, even now, sometimes I feel it. So when you are in those situations, what do you tell yourself?
Like right now, I'm doing this podcast and my daughter is at home. I'm here. So I'm like, I keep repeating it to myself that I fed her in the morning, breastfed her, then I gave her breakfast, I played with her, I spent a lot of quality time with her before coming here. And now she is in a well protected, safe environment. Her granny is there, a nanny is there. So I keep repeating it. She's safe, she's safe, she's safe, she's playing, and she needs to interact with other people also to develop her socialization skills. So this
That's a
is
good
one
one.
thing. Yeah.
That's a
She
good
needs,
one. Yeah, also. Yeah.
yeah, she needs to interact with other people. Like if she's all the time clingy to me, mama, mama, mama. So, she'll not learn to socialize much. I keep changing the staff also. Like some other lady was taking care of her, and then after like 3, 4 months, I changed it. Then just, I keep changing and switching the responsibilities amongst the staff because I feel that kids should not get stuck to that particular person. That if mama is not there, then this particular lady is going to do my job. I keep switching. That also helped a lot in developing socialization skills of my girl. I feel like she started speaking very fast. I mean, she was speaking in sentences at the age of 18 months. She understands all the situation and everything very nicely because she has been interacting with a lot of people. It is more or less like a joint family. Like some days somebody is handling, some days somebody is handling. So she is learning different things from different people.
That is such a good thing that you said, because I feel that we feel like, oh, we have to be around, we have to supervise. But yes, as long as you make sure your child is in a safe environment, that the structure is set, it's known in that way. The best way for kids to learn at a young age is through their environment. And if they are looking at the same people and the same environment all the time, that can delay their development. So having them spend time with other people around the house and not just you can actually benefit them. So taking a bit of that space, we shouldn't feel mom guilt. We should actually feel that we are helping our kids with the socialization skills. So that is such a good way to think about it. And even for me, I think as the kids get older, as they see the work we do, I think that has a lot of impact as well. So now I tell my kids, oh, I'm getting on a call. I'm going to chat with mom about, baby struggling to eat. What should I tell them to give? So they actually see how we are helping the world. And for you, it would be through your products as well. And I think, and that would be inspiring for them.
I agree. I agree. Because my son, he is there in the factory right now. So he'll just see us working, hustling, and he's watching those workers. They are packing and doing other stuff. He helps them. And he sees his father, like he watches his father and they learn from the process.
Yeah. I want to ask you now, when you started your business and you said, okay, I'm going to start with this product, what were the initial challenges that you faced and how did you overcome?
The biggest challenge was that mental barrier that I don't want to do anything that is not very techy. So it took me time. I read a lot of self-help books and I said, okay, so this is also something significant I'm going to do. And the second thing was COVID. We didn't have access to a lot of, stuff because of COVID. They took like 6 months to procure a pulverizer for us. COVID was also a big barrier. And apart from that, I would say we had a sports business, and during COVID, it was affected that way. So we were burning our savings. So that was also a big barrier because having some liquidity is very important, very, very important. And we were not having that liberty at that time. So financials, that also were a big barrier. But yeah, since Government of India has a lot of schemes, it helped me. We took a loan of 3,80,000. Diesel Cherry Food started with that small fund, and till now we are bootstrapped. We have kind of finished that loan. So financial thing was also a big barrier. And slowly and steadily, I mean, things started. And then making people aware about the product is very important because I personally see with a rush of so many brands, uh, with an overload of information, people are not able to decide what to choose and what not to choose. Because sometimes uh, the information load is so much that people start rejecting things. So it also happens. So making them aware about minutes and then kind of convincing them to buy it was a very difficult process. So for that, we did a lot of things, unconventional marketing with it, and it actually helped.
So when it comes to marketing, if you're a mom and you want to market something, what did you feel helped the best? Like for me, what I knew helped really well was word of mouth because moms, we stick together. So like once a mom tries a product or tries a service, they tend to spread the news. So that really helped me. And I think also what helped me was sharing that I have that knowledge that other people want to know on Instagram. So what about you? What was it that helped you spread the word?
First of all, page, Carry Mom, the page has helped us, a lot. And secondly, I did workshops on minutes. I've touched more than 5,000 mothers till now through the workshop. And our initial traffic, initial sales came through the workshop moms because they were all aware about millets, how to view, you know, how to cook and why are millets so important. So we got the initial traffic from them and then word of mouth because a lot of research is done before launching any product. Like if I talk about amla, it is made from authentic recipe and people saw results and word of mouth. Amla Prat is spreading like fire. Word of mouth has actually helped us a lot in growing. And but initial traffic, obviously, I got it from my workshop. I made them aware about millets, and then they only bought our product.
So, for moms who want to start a business, what's important is first to educate other moms about the importance of the business. So, as you're saying, the importance of millets, why it needs to be given a certain way, and how then you are able to bridge that gap and solve the problem. So, you are like, okay, these millets are important. And then moms are like, okay, cool, we need to offer it to our child, but how? And then your product came up. So same with me. I was like, okay, parents, it's very important the way you start solids to build a relationship, with food. And they're like, okay, it's important, but how can we do
I'll
this?
give
And
you,
then that's when I come in. Yeah.
one tip that even if you are doing workshops and eventually you have, even if you're spending like 2.5 hours, 3 hours on a workshop, don't charge a bomb if you want to sell a product. Because if your workshop is costing very high, you will have limited number of people. You write ebook, give it away for free. Give it away for free. Awareness is the best kind of marketing. Word of mouth, customer, people should be aware about what you're going to sell. Because millets are something, I think in this era, there's something new. So awareness is very, very important. Like I give sample diet charts for rupees 99. I give away, workshops for 199 and the workshop is 2.5 hours recorded workshop where there's proper Q&A space. You get WhatsApp support for a year, and you have a community of moms. So
Yes,
we
I'm
have
part of that.
you have a team. I hired a team to manage everything. Obviously, that team costs us something. Workshops, some of the workshops we did cost to cost. Like we charged like 200 per person, and we paid more salary for that. But I think the workshops actually helped us. Don't stop yourself from investing. Invest some amount of your time and money in marketing. So that is very important.
Yeah. So if you have an idea, moms, and you want to know how to get out there, first of all, educate yourself, have that
Yes.
knowledge, have that confidence, then start sharing that information at low cost so that people realize the importance. And once they realize the importance, then you can bring in and help bridge the gap on how you can solve that problem. I think that's a really nice way to get into it.
Don't give anything for free, because if you give it for like, nobody is going to
Yeah.
read it. Charge minimal amount, like 99 rupees, 200 rupees. Charge a small amount, but don't give it away for free, because nobody is going to open the PDF if you give it away for free.
That's a good one. A lot of Instagram reels I've been watching about work-life balance. And I know that for us moms, because even when we're at work, I feel for some reason like men are able to switch off and they're like in the office 9 to 5. But for us women, even if we're at work, we're still coordinating a play date, or we're ordering pajamas, or we're restocking on diapers. So our mind is always racing. And I generally have learned that this work-life balancing, it's not really balanced. At some point, you will be giving it to work, you will be giving it to your kids. It's not ever going to be 50-50. And once I accepted that, I felt much better about it. But in your experience, do you feel you can really balance it?
See, if you talk about balance, it's all on your mind. It comes, obviously, I work on Friday and Saturday. Like Friday and Saturday, I'll work for like 12 hours. That's fixed. And if you create a system wherein you dedicated a particular time, that this is my work time, even if you sit and, scroll reels or just to take idea of what to do next, just lock yourself in the room and do it. Because if you keep your things unfinished, like if your work is not finished, you'll be with the kids, but you'll not spend quality time with your kids. If you are working and if you didn't spend quality time with your kids, you will not be able to do your work also properly. So dedicate days, dedicate particular fixed time, and it is very, very important to be on time. It is very, very important to be disciplined. You have to be a little particular, then only you're going to feel that balance. Like when it is my kids' time, like after 5, 6, when I'm spending time with my kids, I don't take work calls. I feel that having a routine, planning things ahead brings a lot of balance in life. And when you're spending time with your kids, please don't use a mobile phone, because if the mobile is there, your friend messages, there's some important notification on Instagram, somebody wanted to connect with, suddenly calls you, you get distracted.
I definitely myself need to work on the phone thing, because I do feel sometimes when I'm with my kids, I get a little bit fidgety and I'm like, oh, I need to check my phone. What if someone has messaged? But I've also learned that they can wait.
One more thing that has helped me a lot is writing down what I'm feeling. Like sometimes obviously I feel overwhelmed at work. It's like last week, Manaswini, she got hand-mouth disease. So she was not doing well at all. So I was not able to focus on work. So that was also making me feel a bit uncomfortable. So I started writing it down. Like, she is not well. She needs me. I have to be here 100%. I have to be there for her 100%. I write down my feelings. When I'm at work, and sometimes I feel overwhelmed that both the kids are at home, and I don't know whether they are well supported, or कहीं ऊपर ना चले जाए, floor पे ना चले जाए, कुछ हो ना, those thoughts, they keep coming. So I keep this diary with me and I write it down. My kids are safe, they are well fed, they are protected. Like, you write it down for 5 times and you'll feel much better. So writing down your feelings brings that balance on your mind.
That's so nice to hear, because even for me, when I sometimes at work, I feel like I have so many things to do. So it's all in my head. But then once I write it down, like I love making lists, I realize, okay, no, you know what? It's these 5 tasks. I can do it. Because once you visually see it, it doesn't feel as overwhelming as it does in your head. And I think it goes same thing for feelings. If you
Yes.
write it down, you're able to realize, okay, I can take this on. I can handle it. And honestly, I feel us women, I know we shouldn't say, oh, we're very strong and all of that, but we are capable if we allow the help, if we allow ourselves to feel a certain way and not be so hard on myself. The moment I started, and also sometimes I've had those days where I'm like, I don't feel like working, or I feel like being with my kids today, and just kind of sometimes following our heart and our feelings and not being so hard on ourselves, that has helped me a lot in the journey of balancing. I just want to ask you about the finances. So you mentioned in the beginning that you did take a loan. If there's a mom who has a business idea, how do you think it's best for her to handle the finance part of it? Should she take from her savings? Should she ask her husband? Should she get a loan?
I would say take a loan. Why? Because never ever exhaust your savings or liquid money. You should have some liquidity. Because sometimes what happens is like some occasion at a family comes and you want to buy something for yourself and you don't have money in your account. It will overwhelm you. So don't, exhaust your savings. Government has a lot of schemes now. Like I'll tell you few schemes. There's one district, one product. There are some loan schemes like under the district skill centers that they will give subsidy for machinery. So we got 30% subsidy initially. Like whatever loan we took, we got 30% subsidy on that. So there are various subsidized loans for women. If you're well educated, you don't even need to mortgage anything. You just need two people who are your guarantors that you will pay back the loan and you are an ethical person. That's it. And you should have some educational background and a proper plan of the business. But it's very easy to get the loan in India.
Okay. Right, right. Okay, no, that's good to know because for so many moms, first thing they would go is go to their husband and say, I'll take some money and then give me some. I want to ask you, looking back at your journey, is there one mistake or one thing you feel you would have done differently that you wish other moms would know about?
I used to hide my feelings. I never expressed few things to my partner, and I used to kind of assume things a lot. It happened with me in the past. Like I used to assume that my husband is not willing to help. Though in our case we're doing 50-50 parenting. So initially when my son was born, I used to say that he will not help because he's a man. I never asked for help. Assuming things beforehand, it actually is a bad idea. Or hiding your feelings. You're feeling bad, express it to your partner, to your friends, to your family. It is going to help you out in various ways. And I did it for like 1.5 years after my son was born. I had this pile of complaints on my head against my kind of that led to a lot of other problems. I see assume that he is not willing to help me. He is not willing to take care of the baby. I never asked him. When I started asking him, he did more than I asked. Don't assume anything because postpartum or hormones, like, I don't know what happens. It happens with a lot of women and it happened with my mom also that we start assuming things. We start creating negative scenarios on our mind and it happens. I did it because I remember that I used to think that I'll be at home. I'll never lose weight. My skin, it is never going to heal. I look bad and then I'll just be cooking at home. My son will never respect me because I'm not earning. These were all assumptions. I made those assumptions on my head.
And this in itself, especially if you're starting a business, it can affect your mental health and your confidence and your ability to do that as well.
It did. I was procrastinating like anything. Like my husband used to say that these are the papers, please find them. I used to just hide those papers up before me. I'll do it later. I'll do it later. I'll do it later. I used to do this. And even if he used to say that we just get ready by 9 o'clock, we leave home, we go to the office. I used to like get ready by 10:30, 11, sometimes not even at 11. Some or the other news I used to give, like today mommy has a fast, so I have to cook. And those were all excuses I was making. Later on, I realized it was the procrastination that was dominating and obviously the hormones and I was hiding my feelings. I didn't express it to anyone. So those things were leading to this, that I was not doing things properly.
You brought up an important point that actually, before you even think of starting a business as a mom, you need to make sure that you feel mentally and physically good before you invest in something, right?
Exactly. I'll give you one example. Like, if you're not feeling okay mentally, you start a business, you take a loan, something happens and your business fails, you'll not be able to handle it. So first of all, you have to be ready for everything. So make sure that you are feeling okay from inside. Like when my daughter was born, I knew about postpartum depression. I knew that if I'll express my feelings, ask help, I'll feel much better. When my daughter was born, I didn't even face postpartum blues. I was so happy when she was born. I actually felt very fresh and good because I was prepared for it. I was ready for it. I expressed my feelings. I asked help. I actually asked my mom. You also come. I asked my brother. Whatever. I asked help from everyone around. I felt so good and things were so smooth. But when my son was born, I did opposite. I wasn't feeling well. And that is one of the reasons why our business took 2 years to launch. We decided Feb 2020 that we launch this brand, and we launched the brand in Feb 2022. COVID was there. Procrastination was dominating. I mean, I was not feeling good about it. I was not doing it properly. I was not doing things on time. I was not investing my time in a focused way. So that was a big hindrance.
So for all the parents out there, the moms out there, after you have a baby, really focus on feeling good yourself physically, mentally, taking that time. And then when you're in a good space and you feel your kids are settled in a routine, start thinking about your passions, what you like to do. And then you can work on actually having a business. And as you mentioned, even for me, what really has helped me is, for example, when I was feeling down, manifestation, self-help books, because it's nice when you're reading something which makes you feel empowered and it feels like everyone's on your side. Everyone wants the best for you and it helps you take out that noise.
Every mom should own a diary. You should keep a diary and pen handy all the time. Write down your feelings, write down what to do.
The last question I was going to ask you is, what do you feel are the best resources or books that you would suggest for moms out there who want to start a business? So I know one of them would be having a gratitude journal, having a diary, also having some self-help books. Any other resources?
I think reading Bhagavad Gita has helped me a lot. It has actually changed me as a person. It's the best self-help book I found. Like, there's one thing I learned after reading Bhagavad Gita, that nothing is permanent. Like, even if you're stuck somewhere, life is very difficult, it is not permanent. And it has actually helped us. And I mean, anybody can read this line, but realizing the concept that nothing is actually permanent has made me a very calm person. Like, earlier when I used to achieve something, I used to express it like anything. I did this, I did this, I did this. Now, even if I achieve something, I am grounded. I'm like, okay, I did it. And even if something bad happens, I feel very relaxed because I know that it will pass. So Bhagavad Gita has helped me a lot. Me and my husband, we used to read it together and it has helped me. Gratitude journals. I would say once you start writing, thank you God for this, thank you for this, thank you for that, you will thank for everything. Even if you will lose money, you will say, thank God I had so much money that I could lose it.
Correct. Yeah.
So
yeah.
it has happened because a few months ago we lost some money. Like, it was a big amount for us. So me and my husband were sitting and we were like, "Chalo, acha hai, thank God we had so much money to burn." So you'll be much calmer. You'll be very relaxed. And apart from that, manifestation. They've actually helped me.
Yeah.
Vision board. Creating a vision board for yourself. It's very important because you'll keep looking at what you want to achieve until it will give you a push daily that you have to work in this direction. You can put in very good pictures of, your kids playing or some holiday or the car you want to buy or the house you want to buy or something, whatever you want to achieve. You can put it on that vision board and it actually works. I have seen things getting real coming out of the vision board. To do it.
No, I mean, I totally agree with you because I'm a huge manifester. And a lot of times people who are not into it, they kind of find it amusing or funny. But the universe is always working in our favor. And it's important to have that vision board, but you have to take the right steps as well. A lot of people feel they'll just put the picture and then it's going to appear. But you have to embody that person you will be when you get those things. So, and the way you embody it is by stepping up, researching, getting that knowledge, working on yourself. And I see that from your experience, what I like is that the vulnerability was there. You accepted the challenges, you faced it, you took time to get into the process, even though you had your hesitations. But the main thing is you kept moving forward and you kept growing as a person. That is, I think, the most inspiring part of it, that you kept going no matter what happened.
Thank you. There's one tip I would like to give to every mother, that even if like 10 people are shouting and telling you that you cannot do it, and if you feel you can do it, you will be able to do it. So trust yourself, trust the process. Even if you fail, you learn something. Do it. Very important.
Amazing. No, thank you so much. This has been such an insightful episode. I'm sure a lot of the moms out there feeling inspired now. I'm also feeling inspired to go write down my feelings, which I'm going to do after this. So thank you so much for being here. And thank you everyone for listening in. And we will see you for the next episode. Thank you.
So thank you for inviting.